Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In this reading I'm looking into the case of Brian Jones. He was the founder member of the Rolling Stones and he was found dead in 1969 in his swimming pool in his garden. They ruled it an accident. They said it was death by misadventure. But I've got to say, from reading his energy, looking at his photo, that's not what I was feeling. When I get other energies, or sense other energies around someone at the time of passing, then that's generally how I know. I'm getting there were at least 3 energies involved. I'm sensing foul play as well. I'm getting that one of those energies, by the way, was behind the scenes. The word that came to me was ordered. They ordered this to happen. So they're like a sort of top dog, let's say, emperor, which we get in quite a lot of my readings, you know, who paid some people to do this. Now, I thought we'd get some cards to clarify what happened to Brian a bit more in this reading. As I was shuffling my cards, these 2 came out, and I've kept them out because right away I was feeling the motive come through from the energy of these cards. Something worth noting is that Brian left the band and a month later he was found dead. There'd been some disagreements in terms of musical direction, and I was sensing there was something around the band, you know, still happening, like disputes, maybe around finances. When this card came out, I pieced it together because this can show a lawyer. So I feel there was some sort of legal document presented to Brian. I'm feeling that they tried to strip him of his royalties and offer him like a payoff. And I feel he refused. I'm getting he was quite headstrong. And this card as well shows deception, lies, cover up. So basically, because they didn't get their own way, that's why this happened. So right away, that's what I'm feeling in terms of the motive. Now, in terms of what happened to Brian that evening, a few things came through that I felt. This is often how I channel, because I'm clairsentient. Sometimes visions, but often through what I feel. The first thing I felt was like I'd been punched in the chest. It was like the top left side, I just got this pain there. Then I felt I was being suffocated. Strong sensation of not being able to breathe. But it wasn't in water, just want to point that out. And also I felt like there was something in my system coursing through my veins that was kind of making me woozy, something like Valium, potentially. Might not have been, but there was a few different methods that they used to sort of knock him out. And then I feel they placed him in the water. And that's obviously where he was found. But let's see now the cards, anything else around what happened to him. So right away with these 2, I'm just feeling he was quite happy. He was at home at the time. Wow, yeah, there's justice. Again, showing something legal. Someone was working on, yeah, Wheel of Fortune linked to finances. This is showing us more of the story. He might have been thinking about that. Here are the 3 energies that I was feeling. And notice in this card we've got 2 here and 1 up here a bit higher. And that's what I was feeling. Obviously that 1 commanded this. And this is quite interesting as well, because we've got water in this card. It does show movement over water, and there are 3 energies. So yeah, two of those 3 energies took him to the swimming pool, moved him. Okay, I'm getting emotions. Bear with me a moment. I'm just trying to sort of figure out what the emotions are. Sort of like high anxiety. And maybe from those 2 individuals. Because the Sun is happy. So I feel like he was okay that evening. So what we're getting with that is, he wasn't the one responsible. Let's say he didn't want to take his own life. Yeah, that really wants to come through here. From Spirit, that's what that's coming through. And also this card can show a soul contract. So this does come out in some of these readings, but sometimes it is a soul contract, happens for a reason, for someone's life path. Sometimes it's almost like it's prophetic. It was interesting. I did a little bit of reading just before this reading, online I mean, and there was something about, he'd written, in his biography, he'd written some music for someone, and the title had murder in it. Was it Death by Murder? Something like that. I can't quite remember, but I remember when I saw it, I thought, wow, it's like it's prophetic. That can sometimes happen in these cases, where it's almost like someone's given signs throughout their life, and they almost know at a soul level what their soul contract is. Maybe he did. Not certain on that one, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's just come through. Yeah, so we're not really getting with the cards what happened, but something happened with this card in the home. And as I said, I was feeling that it was like knocking him out, let's say, and then they moved him to the water, and then he might have been just unconscious from the drug. Wounded, I definitely feel there was a wound, and that was it. Now, something I was sensing, and it's kind of coming through in this card, is that there were other energies with Brian that evening. We do see a couple here. I believe he lived there with his girlfriend in his home. So I'm not sure where she was. I don't feel she was around at that moment. Let's just see anything else behind the scenes. She could be blonde. With this card we're getting someone who'd gone out or walked away for a moment. That's coming through right away. So I feel that's her. So I feel she was there, but didn't see what happened. Yeah, so we're getting love, come through, a love connection. He was around, girlfriend. So he was alone. She went out wherever she went. He was alone. And then we've got a 10 for the end of his journey. Coming out there. And with this card in the book, I often get secrets. Cover up, obviously. I'm also getting something here about evidence with this book. yeah, some evidence was destroyed, removed from his home. So it could have been that document, something, you know, they're linked to the motive. Let's just see anything else. That one fell out, so we'll take that. Ten of Cups again. Do you know what, with this reading, this doesn't always happen, but I'm getting a lot of nerves and anxiety. I've got to say that this case was on my list. I do keep a list. Someone suggested it a long time ago, actually. I do have a list. And I was going to do the reading, and then something held me back, like it wasn't the right time. And, you know, sometimes it is because we do have to protect ourselves doing these readings in terms of what we say. But anyway, this is my opinion, only alleged. Take what you will from it. I'll just share that. But yeah, I'm feeling like this uneasiness, sort of spiritually, in terms of discussing this. I'm feeling there's quite a lot of discussion that goes on out in the community. I don't know, because I've not looked into this a lot. I'm just feeling that. But now, yeah, see, now we've got the Queen of Swords. We had the King before. We've got two energies there coming through. Though they're queens, it doesn't matter. In tarot, there are two energies who made some plans to make this happen. In fact, I'd see that as the other energy, in fact, that planned it. And here are the two that were there that evening. Again, we're getting a lot of movement, these two cards. Now obviously we're looking into the evidence, and so here we go, it was moved. This card's wands, although here it's butterflies, I'm seeing that like flames. So it was destroyed, maybe burnt, and some was driven away, because this can show a vehicle. Yeah, that's what I'm getting coming through in terms of evidence from the home. Maybe they even scrubbed up, you know, if there was anything. Yeah, because I'm getting blood. I'm suddenly seeing blood in my mind's eye. Obviously, I've got that he was hit, so he might have had a cut, been injured. So they sort of like just cleaned the whole place up. This card's also about communication. So yeah, something that was written, I feel, with that book, that was evidence. Now, as I said, whether it was Brian that maybe wrote, you know, had a diary or something, but I'm feeling something legal that was written, could have been threatening, and that was moved. Because that obviously would have shown the motive for this whole case. Let's just see anything else behind the scenes we may know. Wow. Well, I'm not surprised to see that card, enemy, coming out there. Someone was watching him. Here's that sort of emperor type energy that I mentioned at the beginning. Who was watching him, as I said, who wanted him eliminated. That's what I'm feeling. And it's come through. Now here we're seeing a letter in this card. This is about finances with that Ace of Pentacles. So there you go. That's what I sensed when I was seeing it in the cards. Yeah, so he was posted something about finances, that I feel it's around royalties. Some grief coming through in terms of love. It says wedding. Maybe he was thinking about getting married with his girlfriend at the time. Yeah, I'm feeling grief. Not just from her, there were other, I'm not just saying family, there were other people. A past lover is coming through as well, who was very sad to hear the news. We've got an angry woman coming through as well. Yeah, it's interesting I just said that, because this card says absence. Someone who was missing him. She was not the girlfriend, there's someone else there. I was really feeling it in the emotion there. Feeling the emotion rather. Someone who missed him a lot. I feel she actually is very angry. She was angry when she found out. I feel she's quite intuitive. In terms of what happened, she sort of had an idea that it was foul play. But also the lady he was with, the ex-girlfriend, was angry. She might have seen something or sensed something. Because I think she lived with him. I don't think she saw what happened, but I'm just feeling she sort of pieced things together and got quite angry. Here we've got some money, so I feel she was paid to be silent and not share what she maybe felt. But I mean, right away we're getting the motive coming through there, money, as I felt at the beginning. Anger, again, an angry female who sort of like saw what happened, has been very involved in, well, when I say involved, very interested in this case. It's someone, I feel it's this energy here. I'm getting like a knot in the throat for that energy. A lot of sadness come through. Yeah, loyal energy with a dog. So it's like one of them was paid off and I feel has stayed silent, but there's someone else who has maybe spoken out. Wow. I mean, you can't make this up, everyone. A lot of money. Money was offered. That's what I'm, we're going back to that again. That's what I'm feeling. There's a letter that was received. Yeah, I mean, there it is there being sent. It was received. It was about a sum of money being offered. But I feel it wasn't accepted, and that's why this happened. Wow, everyone. Okay, a lot of emotions came through there. So, if I sort of laugh, it's just because it can get a bit heavy. Sometimes I'm not laughing, so to speak, at the K. Thank you so much for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you feel. If there's anything you feel, you've read, you sense, for example. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much to those who've sent donations as well via Super Thanks, Copies and PayPal. It's very much appreciated and helps me keep the channel going. I'll see you all very soon for another reading. Sending peace and light to you all.